And now, the For Pete's Sake podcast, hosted by Rob Blackman and Joey Mulinaro.
And welcome, everyone. Episode 2 of For Pete's Sake, the official podcast of Purdue Athletics. I'm Rob Blackman. He's Joey Mulinaro. And Joey, let us rejoice. There is indeed an episode number 2.
There were many questions after episode 1. There was fears, some doubts. I don't think we doubted, but can't speak for everyone out there. But we're back. We are back and better than ever.
And it's so nice to have you, our loyal Purdue fans, back with us here on For Pete's Sake, the official podcast of Boilermaker Athletics. You can always find us on the Purdue Sports app. You can find us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, on Apple, or the old-fashioned way for guys like me, just go to PurdueSports.com and you can watch it there. So we're celebrating the fact that indeed there is an episode number 2. We are also celebrating, Joey, that Saturday at Ross-Age Stadium was a great day to be a Boilermaker and a great day to be Barry Odom.
What a beautiful day. The weather was beautiful. It was perfect. From the jump, third play of the game, Boilermakers strike quickly, set the tone for that Saturday, and come away with a really, really impressive win in week 1, man. You got to love it.
And to celebrate, you are wearing the throwback Rod Woodson Purdue jersey. That is sweet, dude.
What do you think about that? Yeah.
That is
so
sweet.
My birthday was last week, and when you get to be later on in life, you get less and less from other people, so you got to kind of do the birthday present for yourself.
Yeah.
And this was the purchase for it, and I wanted to surprise the Boilermaker faithful on episode 2 with the very slick Rod Woodson throwback.
That is cool. Well, hey, wait till you're my age, man. You don't get nothing.
Yeah, right. Birthday. Yeah, I'm holding on for dear life. But that's why you should treat yourself sometimes. A little birthday present for yourself.
I kind of do like that idea. Maybe I will do that.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned YouTube. That's where people can find us. I just talked to the lovely Mrs. Odom before we recorded here, and she said, "Oh yeah, I recognize you because I was watching the show on YouTube." So there you go.
So now I'm a little nervous. I didn't know the head ball coach's wife is watching.
Oh, okay. Well,
she is watching?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a nice thing, not to put too
it's
much
a nice
pressure
thing,
on
but
you.
it just makes me a little extra nervous.
Okay, yeah. But it was a beautiful day. Your thoughts off the jump from being high atop Ross-Age Stadium sitting down on Saturday?
And we'll talk to Coach Odom about this later in the show. Also, by the way, quarterback Ryan Browne will be joining us on the program. I just thought the atmosphere was perfect. Not only did Mother Nature give us a great day, but the Purdue faithful, the student section was packed to the brim. It was not quite a sellout, but it sure felt like it. From the jump, the enthusiasm was there. Again, the student section was awesome, as they normally are. It just felt like a great day for Purdue football. And so now I can't imagine what it's going to look like this Saturday for a night game against Southern Illinois. It'll be popping, man.
And look at you popping. They're coming around.
Is that's a modern
For
phrase?
episode 1, you were all talking, I don't know TikTok, I don't know podcast, I don't know. And here you are. It's popping. So you've been doing your research. Good for you, Rob.
I've heard some of the players say that.
Okay. So it's rubbing off on you?
Yeah.
No, it was fantastic. And, I think that what really is impressive, too, is just that it speaks to the Boilermaker culture. It speaks to the Purdue culture that, you're coming out week 1, you're supporting Coach Odom, a whole new roster of guys, and you show out the way you did like that. And Coach Odom, he made that promise that, hey, once we take care of business on Saturday, week 1, I'm going to come celebrate with you guys. And he did exactly that with the Ross-Age Brigade after the win.
And he'll celebrate with us later on here on the For Pete's Sake podcast. We'll take a short time out. When we come back, time for the Lafayette Limo liftoff segment. Most of our Purdue fall sports teams are off and running. We'll tell you what they are doing when we come back. Stay with us. Time now for our Lafayette Limo liftoff segment. Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 38 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. I mentioned it going to our break there a second ago. Most of our fall sports teams are now off and running. They've at least had 1, 2, maybe 3 competitions under their belt. Maybe none more impressive than what Dave Shondell and the volleyball Boilermakers did this past weekend down in Tennessee, Joey.
Thing of beauty. Thing of beauty going down to Nashville, right? Not only do you go down to Nashville, you're in Tennessee, but then you face UT of all programs.
Right.
And we know the history with the Boilers and University of Tennessee, which
I knew you were
I
gonna go
just
there.
absolutely adore. And I loved whoever's running the social for Purdue Sports and Purdue Volleyball who put out those screenshots of the football win over the Music City Bowl. I think Zach Edey dunking on a Tennessee player, volleyball beating Tennessee. I mean, Purdue just runs the state of Tennessee and University of Tennessee, and they did so in Nashville over the weekend. It was just an absolute thing of beauty, winning in 4 sets.
You know, I heard, I was able to listen online to the final probably 5 points or so on Sunday, and I listened to Coach Shondell join for a quick comment on the postgame show, listening online on the radio broadcast, and he used the word heart, and I thought that was so perfect. They win against USF in Knoxville in 5 games, right? Not easy. And then, as you mentioned, to beat Tennessee in Nashville, right there on Broadway. Notice I said Nashville. I lived in Nashville for 3 years, so I know how to properly pronounce it. Nashville.
Nashville. That's the first time I've ever heard that. Not
Are you trying to be funny? It's not Nashville, it's Nashville.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to be funny. So then you have
Louisville, Nashville.
And
The locals down there won't let you say Nashville, I'm telling you. I tried it. It didn't go well. Anyway, to beat Tennessee the way they did, 3-1.
Yep.
And the word Coach Shondell used was heart. I would say that's appropriate.
It takes a lot of heart, it takes a lot of grit to go down in a ruckus environment, hostile environment.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm telling you, and again, I'm listening on my computer at home on Sunday. You could clearly hear in the background the Let's Go Boilers chant. So I know Purdue was well represented down there.
Okay, Boilers were showing out. That's fantastic.
Cool. It was cool. Now, so home-heavy schedule coming up this week for our Boilermakers and Coach Shondell. It's the Stacy Clark Classic. Wednesday night, Holloway Gymnasium, Georgia Tech is in town. Thursday night, Holloway Gymnasium, Bowling Green. But Friday's the big one. 14th-ranked Kansas coming to West Lafayette to play our Boilermakers Friday night.
No better way to start the weekend. You got Friday night, you got volleyball and a big ranked matchup, and then obviously the Boilers on Saturday night over at Ross-Ade. So get out there and pack the house. Let's go.
Coach Shondell, well done. Good luck this week in the Stacy Clark Classic. I did not think when I woke up this morning I'd be talking Purdue golf, at least not to this extent, but I'm going to now. Did you see freshman Will Harvey Sunday up in Michigan, Purdue men's golf up in Michigan for an event this past weekend? Will Harvey, the freshman from Westfield, shoots a 64 on Sunday.
That's impressive.
It's his second round ever as a Boilermaker. This guy's a true freshman. Second round he's ever played in a Purdue uniform. He went low. 32 on the front, 32 on the back.
And so he can just walk off now. I mean, that's like if I ever shot as good as that, see ya. I'm hanging him up.
What are the odds you would ever, even if you, really got serious with golf, you could ever shoot a 64? What?
It would take many decades. Yeah. What about you? What's your lowest that you've ever gone?
No, could never happen.
You know, we were supposed to play together earlier this summer. I had a
Yeah,
bad
and you
back.
wimped out.
I didn't wimp out. I had a bad back.
You said you were moving mulch.
That's
that's the excuse you gave us.
That's what caused the bad back.
I understand. But it was like 94 degrees the day you claimed you were moving mulch. Who moves mulch in the summertime when it's 94 degrees?
You met my wife. She's up here for this recording. You can take it up with her because I'm not doing that. You're a married man. You know how it goes. They open up the trunk. They say, hey, I got mulch. Get out here and let's make it happen. And you just don't argue.
When you sent the text, the first thing I thought of was, who's moving mulch today? It's 94 degrees. The humidity was through the roof.
We tried to beat the heat.
Well,
but nonetheless,
poor job.
very, very impressive for the young man. And hey, now the pressure's on. I mean, you got a top 64. You set an early tone for what to expect. 64. That's some good stuff.
Hey, Will Harvey, well done. Second lowest round by a Purdue freshman ever in men's golf history. Hopefully this is a good sign of Boilermakers going back to the national tournament again this coming summer. Next summer, I guess, technically. Since they've been there for the last couple of seasons in a row. Also did want to mention men's and women's cross country. They got the season started this past weekend as well. They were competing in the Valparaiso Open. Both the men and women finished in second place in that particular event. And one final note, Purdue women's soccer, please make a note of this, fans. Senior Day is actually this coming Sunday, September the 7th. Senior Day against Western Illinois. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff for the Purdue women and Folk Field soccer. That's the place to be. Folk Field on Sunday, 1 o'clock for what will be Senior Day for our Purdue women's soccer team. Did I miss anything to your knowledge, Joseph?
I think we're lifted off.
Yeah, we officially
liftoff.
have liftoff.
We are ready to go. We are ready and roaring. Anything else from Saturday though? This past week one. Anything else stood out?
I'm glad Coach Odom joins us in the next segment because I'm dying to get his thoughts on obviously because let's be fair, his thoughts are the only ones that really count when it comes to Purdue football. But number one, the atmosphere, and number two, again, just as a fan watching it from the broadcast booth, how error-free Purdue was. No turnovers. I think 3 penalties. I think I have it somewhere here in front of me. I think only 3 as a team accepted penalties. But yes, so you had no turnovers. The penalty numbers were low, which you do not look. You're like me. You watch a ton of college football, especially on opening weekend. I can't think of any other game that I watched where a team had success certainly by winning, but didn't have any turnovers and had a penalty number at 3 or less, or whatever Purdue's was. You watched. I saw turnover after turnover, penalty after penalty. Purdue didn't have any of that stuff on Saturday, which is atypical for a season opener.
There was a handful of games that I watched. I got to a point where you just kind of expected that after every play you'd be seeing the official's face.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
That was not the case for the Boilermakers on Saturday.
Sorry to cut you off. That was the other thing. We did not have a single video monitor review in that game. When's the last time you watched a college football game that didn't have a video monitor review?
That's big for you. I feel like the play-by-play guys always really struggle with the guys taking so long under the hood.
I feel terrible for Tim Newton calling the game. Yeah, but yes, we didn't. I'm just double checking some stats that I have in front of me.
Do you ever get any rants off about that, Rob? Are you a guy who gets really perturbed about the reviews?
No. But I mean, look, I'm not mad we didn't have any Saturday. By the way, Purdue did have 3 accepted penalties for 25 yards on Saturday. So you had minimal penalties, no turnovers, no video reviews. Maybe the most impressive thing, again, for a guy who works on the radio side, we played that game in like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It didn't even take 3 hours to play the game. It's
impressive, especially when you put up 31 points yourself.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about real quickly, and I know that we'll be able to ask Ryan Browne about Armand Branch and the story of him and his perseverance, really. I mean, you were talking about it, said, hey, we're getting the ball. It's good. The playmaker, third play of the game, you saw what he did after he caught it. I mean, he was, jump driving around and really, really acrobatic, impressive stuff from Armand. And so super impressive, the story of him and not going anywhere, keeping at it, knowing. I heard him afterwards in the interview, the post-game interview, say, this is God's plan for me.
Yeah.
This is where it's supposed to be, and now it's happening and it's coming together. And it did in a big way against Ball State. Big way.
He last year, to the best of my knowledge, had 1 touch. And it was like an inside reverse handoff against Illinois. He scored. It was a touchdown. Yeah. I don't remember ever touching the ball last year, other than that one time.
You would think with that, you'd say, hey, let's get this guy the ball some more.
Did you like, speaking of guys that are playmakers, did you like Michael Jackson III's celebration after his touchdown?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
You're the first guy I thought of for some reason when that happened. I'm like, I bet Joey will freaking love that, man.
I did.
Little Michael Jackson touch.
I'm really interested to hear what Coach Odom thought about it because that's always interesting. There it is, man. I mean, he absolutely stuck that. The leg kick, the boop. You just heard the you hear it as you watch that video of Michael Jackson III. And, man, another impressive showing from him as well.
That was sweet. That was sweet. Again, why you were the first guy I thought of when he did that, I don't know. But I was like, man, I can't wait to ask Joey about that on the next podcast.
You were just sensing that, yes, I am known for at wedding receptions going into the full Billie Jean Motown show from Michael Jackson back in the day.
I would love to get some video of that sometime on the podcast if you're cool with that.
Sure, it's out there somewhere.
Fans, remember, you can reach out to us via social media and tell us what you would like to hear about on the podcast. Maybe there's a coach you'd like to hear from. We are efforting Dave Shondell, by the way. We think we'll have him on the podcast very soon. Maybe there's a certain player or just something you'd like us to talk about on the podcast. If so, please reach out to us and let us know via social media. We will do our best to give you, the Purdue fan, what it is that you want. I know you want to hear from Coach Barry Odom. so he will visit with us next. Please stay with us. The head ball coach of your Boilermakers with our big interview segment coming up next. It's brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Coach Odom, next. Stay with us. And welcome back. Time now for the big interview segment. It's brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsors of Purdue Athletics. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. As promised, here he is, head coach Barry Odom, coming off that huge win on Saturday against the Ball State Cardinals, 31-0 as the Boilermakers start the season 1-0. Coach, congratulations, number one. Number two, how about that atmosphere on Saturday? Was that awesome or what?
It was great, and thanks for pointing out just getting a win, how important that is to start the season. And, I felt a little more anxious probably than maybe the last couple of years. Just the newness and understanding, and wanted to get started in a great way. So I was excited on how the game started with, the stop on defense and then offensively being able to go score. And but walking out of the tunnel for the first time and seeing the student section, number one, how awesome they were. And the Ross Aid Brigade, and then the band was tremendous. And then the rest of the stadium, thrilled to have a chance to coach in Ross Aid. And the people are special. I've said that since I've been here, and that even validates it a little bit more.
What about that walk through Tiller Tunnel for the first time as the head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers? Did you have at least a split second to maybe catch your breath and try to appreciate it?
I mean, it was hard to put into words for me at this point, because I told our players there's going to be feelings that are created today that unless you've really done it, you can't explain it. And there's been opportunities of environments of games over the years that, you can feel it in the air, and that was exactly what it was the other day.
I heard in your halftime interview, post-game interview, I think actually, Coach, mentioning that walk in Tiller Tunnel, you said you were a little out of breath. I was a little surprised, man. I thought that you were, you're an in-shape guy. You're running around out there. What's going on?
I think a little bit of anxiety. You've always talked about, you worry about your players on game one.
Yeah.
Just this being in the arena for the first time. We're in great shape. It's like, did you – in high school, you played football and you thought you were in the best shape of your life. Then all of a sudden you go to basketball season and you can't get up and down the court.
Right.
Just the newness and all the things that went to it. But I was a little out of breath. I was almost embarrassed in myself.
No, I hear you totally. But, obviously 31-0 the win, shutout defensively, you being a defensive guy. Who are some of the guys who really stood out to you and some of the plays that you took notice of in that shutout?
Yeah, I think collectively they had a really good plan going into it from Coach Shear and the defensive staff, but then we were really simple on defense. We didn't have many calls, so that was good to see that they went and executed those. We had some checks within calls depending on formation, so I thought overall from going through fall camp, then into the preparation for week one, a lot of the unknown, I thought our guys did a nice job on executing what we wanted to try to get called. Manny Powell stood out on the way he played a number of snaps, not only on defense but also in the special teams area. I thought he had a really good game. Charles Correa, for the first time that he played a number of snaps. He played last year for us, but it was a spot guy. And then now, playing snap after snap, did some really good things. Taj Rael had a really good game for us, first game out. So those three. And then up front, I thought TJ Lindsey did some things interior-wise that we're really going to be able to build on.
I'm always interested to visit with a head coach after you've had a chance to watch the film, because I know sometimes that gut reaction immediately following the game can be right or can be wrong.
Yeah.
But when you went back, and I want to stay on defense here, when you did go back and watch the tape of the defensive coaches, did you feel like you got exactly what you wanted for game number one?
I felt there were times that we did, but there were also a lull of getting off blocks, a lull. We just weren't consistent enough.
Yeah.
And so we've got to strive for that. We've got to be good every single series. It doesn't matter what the score is or isn't. We just got to go play. We'll get better at that. I thought, we tackled well early, not as well later in the game, which is focus, in my opinion. Taking the next step in fundamentals on tackling, not lunging as much. And then you look at collectively, we have a measurable throughout the game on how many explosive plays that you want to keep them to. We were we gave up 2 defensively, and that's really good. That's hard to do in college football. So we've got a lot of things that we did well. We're not anywhere close to where we need to be. Yeah.
Got to ask the old ball coach about the play of the quarterback. And Ryan Browne started very quickly in his re-debut, as we've been saying, for the Boilermakers. I heard you said in your postgame that you felt like, he managed the game plan well and executed. Anything that stood out dramatically to you in your first go-around with Ryan in week 1? I
thought, number one, I think he's got the ability with his legs to do some special things in the quarterback run game. It was interesting to me early before the game started. I was asking Coach Henshaw, hey, how's Ryan feeling? I'd talked to him and just getting a better feel. And Ryan said, I need to get hit and to really get into the flow of the game. I understand that, and I said, well, let's not get hit too much. But I thought he executed the plan. There were a couple of throws he left out there. Some of it was protection. One of them, he could have stepped up in the pocket and really got his feet in balance and been able to make the throw. But on the sideline, it was amazing listening to him because he knew immediately what he needs to correct on the next opportunity. And that's a sign of a great competitor. He understood the game plan, and I think he's got real elite talent.
Ryan Browne, by the way, will be our guest later on here in the podcast. He was 18 of 26. I think I counted 2 drops, so 20 of 26 isn't all bad, Coach. But what I really liked, again, just looking at it from the broadcast booth, 9 different receivers caught balls. And you mentioned it last time we visited, you feel like that wide receiver room's pretty deep. I think we saw a little bit of that depth, did we not, on Saturday?
I think there were guys that made plays. There were a couple that extended plays that he found, and we did a really nice job on the scramble drill. We did have a couple of drops, which we've got to get. We've got to be able to play catch, right?
Yeah.
That's just those that are there. It's so hard to move the ball and so hard to score. We can't leave them out there. Didn't get as much tight end involvement as I thought we had, kind of in the plan. So I think that's another area that we can certainly improve on. And Ryan did a great job going through the progression of where he's going with the ball, which is really important. And that would say, with 9 guys touching the ball through the throw game, that's a good start for us.
Offensive line. Maybe I should ask Coach Weiss this one. But what did Coach Weiss and yourself think about how that O-line played? Because I know coming in, we had some different new faces in there.
Yeah, I thought overall solid, not near as consistent as we need to be. We had a couple of play breakdown on either pressure or a 4-man game that, this day one, we can't have those errors. I thought they were always in control. I didn't feel like we were ever not in a position that we couldn't pick something up. But again, it goes back to consistency, and let's be solid every single play and every single series, because the quarterback gets all the praise and way too much judgment, but we need the 10 guys around him to play really well. The offensive line's got to block with the tight end and the running backs, give him time to go through his reads. The receiver's got to catch. We've got to be able to run the ball. Ryan did some really good things. It's all going to start up front for us, and we've got to be able to run the ball. When we do that, it'll open up the vertical passing game for us, and I think we got a chance. We got the makings. We could be a pretty explosive offense.
Saw some explosiveness out of Farmont Branch for one on Saturday. 3 catches in that first series, obviously big. More of a point of emphasis to get him the ball early and often? I
think there was some of that, but also how they were playing their coverage. It just allowed him to, one on the skinny post, and then he had a chance to stack the guy and get on top. Middle field safety was not where he needed to be, so Ryan made a great read on that. And then the throw and the catch, perfect placement, did a great job securing the ball. For the record, I called the touchdown, the first touchdown.
On play 3?
I only call touchdown's on offense.
We never doubted that.
I had the first one. But he did a great job separating. They were playing tight in their coverage. Kind of safeties were down low. And we had just enough protection that Ryan could hang in there and throw the ball. And what a great way to start.
Yeah.
How about how cleanly played for game 1? No turnovers. You had 3 penalties. Joey and I were talking in an opening segment here. Yeah, knock on wood. You're right, Coach. We watched a lot of college football this weekend. We weren't seeing any no turnover games, 3 penalty games. I mean, could you have played it much more cleanly than you did for game one?
I was excited about that because we made it a huge emphasis. We've got to play smart football. And number one, we got to take care of the ball defensively. Frustrated we didn't get any back. We didn't create any takeaways. So we've got to get in the plus in the turnover margin, which we will. Offensively, they understand they've got to take care of the ball. Ryan did a nice job. All the ball carriers. Mock had one out over on the sideline. Luckily, it rolled out. But that's got to be in our favor. And then the penalty game, I thought we played the right way.
Hard, smart, tough. I'll try to ask you this every time we have you on this season. The checklist post-game, did you feel like you were able to check off those 3 boxes?
There were times we did, and then again, I go back to consistency. We didn't do it for 4 quarters, so we'll get there. We've got so far to go. We'll get the improvement that will show up on Saturday night will be a heck of a lot better than we were last Saturday, and that's part of the process on what it's supposed to look like.
Did you see Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson move, and did you like it?
I thought it was average at best. I would rather him celebrate with the teammates. I get it. I don't want to take away the enthusiasm. It was just okay.
Did Coach Odom ever bust any MJ out at a wedding reception?
I was more of a moonwalk guy.
I'd love to see that.
Of course.
So you've got to play with the game with energy and emotion and enthusiasm. So and there's going to be times you've got to create that yourself because you're at an away game or whatever, things aren't going your way. But, man, you put in so much work. I want them to enjoy playing the game and be encouraging on the sideline.
Obviously, big week 1 win, but, these are 18, 22-year-old kids we're talking about here, and it's just the beginning. But is there a worry or a fear that you have at all that, coming off that kind of win, you got to kind of maintain them still, their mindset going into week 2, week 3, not get too high, not get too low. Is that a battle that concerns you at all?
I think, we've got so much to prove. We know that, yes, we won the game, but it wasn't anywhere close to where we need to be. So we've got to do a great job. I met with the captains earlier, and we talked about that exact messaging on how important it was. It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter what we did Saturday. Good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't matter. We'll be judged on what we do, the preparation from now until game time. And then next week's another opportunity to go improve on how we play and try to play our A game.
Do we have an early scouting report on Southern Illinois? I know they won their opening game 49-3, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they pulled their starters really early. They've got an athletic quarterback, throws a really good ball, can extend plays. There's some quarterback run game. I think they've got 2 running backs I noticed, watching early tape on them, impressed with. Defensively, their front 7, aggressive, played on the other side of the line of scrimmage, ran to the ball. They look so well coached. I know Coach has been there now. I think he's going into his 10th year. Yeah. He'll have them ready to go play. So, the standard for us is prepare as great as we can, nameless, faceless opponent, and let's go be as good as we can be next Saturday night.
In our first episode, now you mentioned that you're going to need the whole quarterback room, and you saw in game 1, Malachi was able to get in there later in the game. Do you foresee that being something that you could potentially use in your favor to be able to have him be able to come out there, or is it just, hey, we're going with Ryan 1 and he's there ready to roll if something were to happen to Ryan Browne? Yeah,
I think Ryan is our starter, and we believe in him. We also know, and I believe it's going to take more than Ryan this year to win at the level we need to, whether it's injury or whatever takes place. So I think it's always good to get as many guys as you can, game experience, and it presented itself the other night to get Malachi in the game, and he did well with his opportunities for sure.
7:30, Saturday night, fans. Southern Illinois visiting. The Boilermakers hosting the Salukis at Ross-Age Stadium. I can only assume, Coach Odom, that the atmosphere is going to be even better on Saturday night than it was this past Saturday, so I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to see you guys out there Saturday.
It's going to be great. They've got all day to get ready for the game,
yes,
and
right.
It'll be a great night. Can't wait.
To get ready, Joe.
Yes.
Get ready.
Uh-huh.
I know you'll be doing that.
Well, you got to put on all your good gear, like my Rod Woodson jersey,
Yes.
look good. It's a big day.
Coach, good luck. We'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Head Coach Barry Odom, part of our big interview segment brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. When we come back, how about QB1 Ryan Browne, our guest? Stay with us. All right, welcome back, everyone. For Pete's Sake podcast continues. Thanks to Coach Barry Odom joining us in our last segment. And he was, of course, just a moment ago speaking very highly about our next guest. He is QB1. He is the only quarterback in the Big Ten that threw for over 300 yards on opening weekend. He is Ryan Browne. Ryan, welcome.
Hey, Ryan.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Hey, how did it feel running out on that field Saturday? The atmosphere was electric. I know that. I could feel it from the broadcast booth. But as a player, not only running out to that electricity, but knowing you're the starting quarterback.
It's a great feeling, you know. I had the opportunity last year against Oregon, but there's definitely a different feel to it, you know, starting the year, as the guy. And, like, the fans were ready to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, they got the music and the smoke. Like, it gets you ready to play some ball. So it couldn't have been any better.
Going back from 2024, where you mentioned you had Illinois and Oregon, we got the starts, and then here at the home opener, what's some differences that you've already seen from your time at Purdue, last year and then to this year in week one?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think just, having another year of experience, and I've learned a lot of things through the offseason. So, I think a big thing is comfort, playing with more comfort. And then obviously our staff is amazing. And I think they prepared me and my teammates for the game. They did a great job. So obviously wouldn't have been able to play the way we did as a team collectively without them.
9 different receivers caught balls on Saturday. We talked about that on the radio broadcast, and I know we talked about it when the number was, 7. Ended up being 9. What a luxury, I would think, as a QB to know you have multiple weapons offensively. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. We've got a lot of playmakers, and that makes my job really, really easy. I think the best part about it is we've got guys not only that are going to get open and catch the ball, but you've got guys who you can just throw a little screen to, and they're going to go make a great play. So when you've got guys like that, it makes it super easy for the quarterback.
Armand Branch, big game.
Yep.
A lot was made about how year 3 for him, and this was kind of his coming out party, if you will. Was there more of an emphasis in 2025 going into week 1 to get him the ball, or is it just kind of how it worked out with the game plan and being able to execute it?
Yeah. I think it definitely came down to just the game plan.
Yeah.
But I will say me and him were in the same recruiting class. I enrolled in January, but he came in the summer, and we've kind of been close. Even before he got here, we would, Snapchat each other, talk to each other a little bit. But when he got here, we were, obviously probably 3 or 4 string. And we got a connection together, and we used to make plays together, and it was really fun. So, once we got into the game and I was throwing the ball and he was catching it, it kind of just felt like practice back when we were freshmen. So it was really cool that we've kind of built that connection, and hopefully it'll keep getting stronger.
Obviously, the game could not have started any better offensively than it did. A 3-play drive, touchdown, took all of 40 seconds to start the game. As you and Coach Henson are putting together the offensive game plan for the opening series, did you assume it was going to go that smoothly? Because, again, I don't think it could have gone any better.
Yeah, I don't think obviously you plan for it to go that well, but you never expect it to, maybe happen the way it did. So that was definitely a blessing. I do think later on in the game there were times where we weren't as good, but we definitely started fast, and that's important.
So how about, I would be interested, I'm certain those that are listening or watching would be too, the flexibility that you have as the quarterback working with Coach Henson when a play call comes in. Are you able to switch the play up to audible if you get a different look maybe defensively, or you see something differently, or how does that relationship work with you and Coach Henson?
Yeah, so we'll go over the call sheet basically all week, especially in the hotel before the game. And we do have some calls where we might call one certain play, and against 3 different looks, it's 3 different plays. And, not every play has a check, but a lot of them do. And we go over, if you get this look, what are you going to check to? And And all credit goes to Coach Henson for that. It makes it really easy for us as an offense to run plays that are going to set us up for success.
That's how I know I should be sitting in the stands where I am, because I had no idea that you do 3 different plays for 3 different looks, and you have to be able to compute all of that. That's pretty impressive. With having Devin Mockabee behind you in the backfield, right? I feel like coming in, he's highly touted in terms of what he's done in his college career. Does it almost allow you guys to kind of pass to set up the run in terms of, because maybe teams are gearing up for the mock train behind you? Does that open things up in the back end for you, maybe to start a game?
Yeah, I think it definitely does, especially, you want to establish a run early on in a game. But for us, first quarter, they were fitting the run really heavy, and I think Devin has a lot to do with that. And I don't know how you prepare for a guy like him, because he runs the ball really hard. He catches the ball well. And, he blocks his butt off. Ever since I've been here with him, I couldn't believe how hard a worker he is and how hard he plays, even in practice. And there was one specifically in the game where they blitzed a linebacker right at the A-gap, and he went in there and just stuck him right in front of me. Right after the play, I was like, dude, that was awesome. So, everything he does is he does a great job with everything.
Sounds like a mechanical engineering major.
It does, yes, that does.
On his
Good call.
P's and Q's.
Hey, there was, you did have a little bit of, I don't want to, let's see, what would be the word? I don't think controversy is the right word, but a little bit of a hiccup midway through the game when Joyner goes down, you're starting center, and you had to make a quick change at center. Ethan Trent came in, filled in admirably until Joyner was healthy enough to come back and play. What about that as a starting QB? Because I know that relationship is so important between QB and center. To all of a sudden have to make that change. And again, it seemed, from watching afar, it seemed to go pretty seamlessly. But how was it from your end?
Well, obviously it was unfortunate that Braden had gotten banged up. But, I love Ethan. I trust in him. Really, all of our centers I trust. We get reps with each other every practice. I mean, going back to the beginning of the summer when I got back here, I've gotten reps with all those guys, so I couldn't trust them more. And I thought he came in and we didn't miss a beat. I thought Ethan did a great job at center.
What about when we go Wildcat and Maccabee's taking the snaps? You're like, hey, coach, I'm going out here to wide receiver. Why don't we throw it to me?
No, well, that's a different conversation.
Because you can move too, obviously.
I might be able to go get one.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever we got to do to go score. And obviously Devin, like I've said, is an amazing player. If we're going to put the ball into his hands, in the Wildcat, I have all the confidence in the world in him being able to go do his job.
You connected with Michael Jackson III, and it was an impressive play, no doubt. But I wanted to get your thoughts on the Michael Jackson dance move at the end. Were you impressed? Are you familiar with that? I know you're a young guy. Do you know what he was pulling there with that move?
I do know what he was pulling. I actually did not see it in the game until after on everybody's Instagram stories, and I was like, I texted him. I was like, I did not see you did that. That's awesome. I thought it was really cool. I wish I did see it.
Okay, so you didn't have any. He wasn't saying, "Hey, you hit me here. I'm going." With
I had no
MJ.
clue. I mean, I should have figured though.
Right.
Yeah.
Your touchdown celebration on your run was quite understated. I mean, if Michael's going to do that kind of stuff, we need more from you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just handed the ball to the official, dude. You're just like,
yeah.
That's cool.
Me and Coach Henshaw talked before the game. And he said, if you score, give the ball to the official, then you can do whatever you want. So I made sure to do that, and then my teammates were there to celebrate with me, and that's the most important thing for me.
Ryan, I'm introducing this little segment here. I haven't told Rob or anybody about it, but I'm calling it Harry's Hot Seat. Okay, I do this at my holiday party with my friends. We do something else with the Harry's Hot Seat. This one, I'm just going to ask you questions, rapid fire. Okay, and maybe 60 seconds. Somebody can time it or whatever, but just first thing that comes to mind when I ask. Harry's Hot Seat, Ryan Browne. Best restaurant in Purdue?
Ooh, Triple X.
Hidden gem at Purdue?
Hidden gem?
Yeah.
Everbowl.
Teammate you'd start a podcast with?
Ooh, Owen Davis. For sure, Owen Davis.
What would the podcast be called?
Ooh. TBD. I'm not sure on that one.
TBD could work. Anyways, Boiler basketball player you take on the football team?
Ooh. I'd like to say Fletcher Lawyer because he's my roommate, but
He's too little and skinny.
I was going to say,
I'm
maybe
not
a
gonna bum on
receiver?
that.
Yeah.
He's too skinny.
I'm going to go with Oscar Clough. Big guy.
Yeah, maybe
Red
throw
zone
him at
target.
left tackle. He would, or a tight end.
Yeah.
Sure. Start, bench, cut. Kyle Orton, Curtis Painter, Aiden O'Connell.
Pass.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do not
Start
have to
all three.
answer this.
I'm starting all three.
All right,
They're
fair,
rotating.
fair, diplomatic. What position would Purdue Pete play in football?
Ooh. He's got to be a middle linebacker or like a hard-hitting downhill safety.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mike Allstott in college versus Coach Odom in college. In the A gap, who wins? Linebacker versus tailback.
Coach
fullback.
Odom.
Coach Odom, good answer. Okay, lastly, I'm a junior in high school. I'm a recruit. Pitch me on Purdue.
Okay. Well, first of all, Purdue is an outstanding school. That is something that I didn't realize until I got here. We have the best fan base in the country. Our colors are amazing. Our facilities are also the best in the country. We have the best coaches in the country. I don't think there's any reason you wouldn't want to come to Purdue.
That's it. Harry's hot seat. Ryan Browne. That's it for me.
Well
Okay.
done. I had a few more questions, but I cannot top that.
Okay.
So we're going to end this segment right here.
Okay.
Happy to have Ryan Browne join us. Even happier that he starts the season with his Boilermakers 1-0. Ryan's dad actually played 4 years in the NFL, so football is not new to the Browne family. And we are glad, Ryan Browne, you are here in West Lafayette. Congratulations and
Thank you.
Good luck Saturday against Southern Illinois.
Thank you.
Thanks, pal.
That's Ryan Browne. One more segment left of For Pete's Sake, the official podcast of Purdue Athletics. Stay with us. Final segment here of For Pete's Sake, the official podcast of Purdue Athletics. Rob Blackman, Joey Mulinaro putting the finishing touches on this one. Episode number 2, almost in the books. Joey, what did we learn today?
I think we learned a few things. I think we learned from Coach Odom that obviously not perfect, not exactly where he wants his team to be, nor should it be after week 1, but a lot of positives to build off of. I learned that Ryan Browne is roommates of Fletcher Lawyer.
Yeah, didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I learned also that him and Armand Branch have had a little bit of chemistry for quite a while now, which makes sense after what we saw in Game 1 against Ball State. And I learned that there's just a heck of a lot of exciting things going on at Purdue with volleyball this week, coming back after a few big wins in Nashville.
Soccer on
Senior
Sunday
night.
is senior day.
There it is.
1
That's what I was
o'clock,
missing.
Sunday, senior day, Folk Field. If you can be there, fans, please go out and help celebrate our senior soccer Boilermakers from our women's soccer team as they have their senior day on Sunday. Now, we're going to give you something to impress your friends at the water cooler this week, okay? Are you ready?
Ready.
If Coach Odom can win on Saturday night, he would become the first Purdue head coach to start his tenure at Purdue 2-0 since Cleo O'Donnell back in 1916.
Old Cleo.
Old Cleo.
Man, he ran a
Hell
tight
of a
ship.
ball coach.
Yeah,
he
sure
did run a tight ship, I heard.
Jeez.
So you impress your friends with that this week, fans. And you can only hear it right here on the podcast, for Pete's sake. That's why you tune in for that type of information. I'll give you a little bit more to know about Southern Illinois. Coach was mentioning their quarterback. His name is DJ Williams. He threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown in their season opener. They beat Thomas More 49-3 in a home game in their season opener last Saturday. So they will come in here 1-0. Coach mentioned their head coach, Nick Hill. He's been there for a while. Really good football coach. Really good football program. So the Salukis, they'll definitely come ready on Saturday.
And then obviously we won't talk to you here on For Pete's Sake until the following week. So
That's
you
right.
have Southern Illinois at Ross-Ade coming up on Saturday for Game 2, and then the USC Trojans
That's right.
come to town. Southern Cal to West Lafayette. Is that a 3:30?
3:30
3:30
kick, yep.
kickoff time, I believe CBS. So that'll be a big one. So 2 more football games before you hear from us again. Then obviously the volleyball openers at home. It's going to be very, very exciting. A lot to get to up here at Purdue.
Again, this reminder, some coach, some player, something you'd like for us to talk about here on For Pete's Sake, the podcast, please reach out to us via social media, and we'll do our best to see if maybe we can't work that into our schedule. Big thank you to Patrick Crawford. He is our executive producer of the For Pete's Sake podcast. Thanks to Corey Palm, who produces the program. Thanks to Brad Summers, who is our director. Also, big thanks to Brooke and Rosie doing the social media work behind the scenes. From my partner, Joey Mulinaro, I'm Rob Blackman. We'll visit again in a couple of weeks. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of For Pete's Sake, the official podcast of Purdue Athletics.
Oiler out.